Recognizing and acknowledging reviewer activity is key to maintaining talent and improving scholarly research. For this reason, Editorial Manager provides a way for journals to conveniently recognize reviewer activity in a researcher's ORCID record. Naturally, journals want a high degree of control over how and when reviewers are recognized, so this video provides an overview of available options in Editorial Manager. The first step is for you to notify Aries of your ORCID account credentials so that your organization name will appear as the convening organization rather than Aries. Now let's look at Editorial Manager's configuration options. Reviewer acknowledgement may not be appropriate for all the article types published by your journal, so the first step is to identify the relevant reviewer forms for the desired article types. For example, I may only want to acknowledge reviewers who work on original research articles. Identifying, selecting, and editing this form is undertaken in Policy Manager. If you are not already familiar with this option, please review the video on reviewer form configuration. I'm logged in as a system administrator. I visit Policy Manager and choose Create Edit Review Forms. I choose the form I wish to edit. Then I check the box to enable ORCID Review Deposit. I also configure the authorization question that will be displayed to reviewers, as well as any desired instructional text. I can further limit which reviews qualify for deposit. For example, I may choose to only recognize reviews above a certain rating, or that are submitted on time. If you choose to apply these settings, don't forget to update the instructional text so that reviewers are not surprised. Because of these configuration settings, the updated form seen by reviewers will now include a question soliciting the reviewer's explicit confirmation that they want to be acknowledged in ORCID, as shown here. When the reviewer uses this form to confirm their desire to be acknowledged, this makes the review eligible for deposit. But what triggers the actual transfer of data to the ORCID system? This is configured by the system administrator by using Configure ORCID Review Deposit in Policy Manager. Here, I may choose to deposit eligible reviews to ORCID on a daily, weekly, monthly, or longer basis. Most journals running blinded workflows select a frequency of at least monthly in order to preserve reviewer anonymity. However, open peer review journals might choose daily deposit to ORCID. Additional configuration parameters determine the exact deposit trigger. These configuration choices can be changed at any time by the administrator, so journals can experiment with the best practices for their individual workflows. Now that we've configured reviewer ORCID recognition, let's recap the entire workflow. Reviewer Zadie Jones is invited to review a manuscript for Journal A. She accepts the assignment, and when she completes the reviewer form, she selects to opt in for ORCID deposit. If her ORCID ID is already known by the system, it will appear here. If not, she can confirm her ORCID ID by clicking the checkbox. Her review becomes eligible for deposit. Based on the journal's settings, her review will now be automatically transferred to ORCID and will appear in her ORCID record with your organization identified. If Zadie initially declines to deposit her review, but subsequently changes her mind, no problem. She navigates to the Completed Assignments folder and clicks on the ORCID Deposit Authorization action link to authorize later deposit. As you can see, it only takes a few minutes to configure ORCID reviewer recognition in Editorial Manager. Contact your account coordinator if you need help or have additional questions.